forward with your journey. Then you go into your peers, and then they are in, get the executive sponsorship. Let's jump in and migrate to the cloud. Okay? So then some of your team members will gonna be like more or less excited, others might be worried, but what will happen, right? So it's just another IT project. And then you start with all this enthusiasm and this jump, you start moving, suddenly you start having those roadblocks that nobody saw before. So just an IT project, right? And then you're like somewhere in the middle. You cannot move forward with these roadblocks. You're running like environments, and all those promises of cost saving, agility, distribution, nothing happens. Now, despite the fact that this was like just an example, but trust me, this is the real case happening with most businesses trying to adopt cloud. We hear a lot and see it. So if you wanna make sure your journey to the cloud is gonna be like smooth, so I'm going to share some of the pitfalls that people avoid and how to avoid them. So please relax and enjoy the last short day. So thank you so much again. Let me give you just a brief intro. Maybe the intro was fast. So Zero&One is an AWS advanced consulting partner with all these kind of competencies, migration, modernization, DevOps, and stuff. We've been focusing highly and only on AWS. So most of what we're gonna see is based on our collaboration and approach with AWS in general, and the learnings that we had. So we've been awarded the Partner of the Year for the MENA region in 2021 and Migration Partner in 2021. That's just about us. So organizations, when they adopt this journey to the cloud, they just like interested to catch the trend, but they always forget to bridge the gap between technical and business goals. And this leads to kind of unclear organization objectives. So cloud adoption as a strategy is not good if it didn't serve the business objectives. So in the midst of this excitement, like you getting out of your data centers, the need for a success metric, unfortunately, is always lower. Cloud itself is just a tool that to really benefit, you really need to set it right. And bad cloud deployment will always lead to very bad returns. They even could cost you even way more than running your classical IT infrastructure. So, having said that, treating your cloud project or cloud application, move to the cloud as a cure for your current data center whose mindset will not help you achieve what you are trying to get. So you need to understand that adopting cloud is adopting to a new norm of thinking, the operation. You're consuming IT to serve, it's a new way of consuming IT to serve the business objectives. So if your organization is not ready to consume, to adapt to self-service, meter, elastic way of doing things, then going to the cloud will just add extra harm rather than benefit. Now, this was the first pitfall. Now, most of the enterprise migration projects get stalled at 25% of the journey. And that's when the lift and shift part is the easy one, like it's done, right? And then we're just like, because we are just running and we will move, there is a mindset of we will build it, they will come. But you still have those monolithic applications, big ones that need to be broken before you move it for a proper operation, right? So, and those will hinder your progress. That's why it gets stuck. And to really factor in the thing, should I invest all this money to factor this application to the cloud? Is it worth it to do the same functionality as we're still paying for this money? It might make sense, but this should be aligned with the business because business initiatives have their own timelines. And then what was a sprint, supposed to be a sprint, will become just a marathon. Now, the cloud needs new mindset of capabilities and different type of mindset. So you need to have this cloud thinking. You need to assess your workloads when you are trying to move into your cloud assessment phase. So you just don't go with an as-is mindset, right? Think of re-platforming, refactoring, think of repurchasing. You need to select the right strategy in new migration, and that will give you the best return on investment when you do execute your migration. Having a factory mindset where you will create patterns for repeatable patterns for certain workloads will always boost your return on investment at a later stage. Now, according to research done by Accenture, 2/3 of enterprises are not happy or they didn't achieve what they were promised from the cloud migration. And the main reason, according to the same paper, was because there was no cloud strategy in place. And they didn't have a continuity or a plan about how to utilize the cloud as a platform for innovation. So, the moral of this, I mean, the cloud is not a big bang thing and it's just in there. It will give you a little to no added value and will not put you ahead of your competitors if you just move. So the moral is, before you set out on this journey, you really need to know where you are going. That should be drafted initially with your cloud strategy before initiating that. So the last pitfall that I want to mention is, it is a journey, guys. So it's not just a project. So post-migration planning is key in success. So if you haven't built your operation model, if you don't know what are you going to do next, then why move to the cloud? It's just not yet another hosting platform. So, and there are huge financial risks. We've seen this. We've seen this everywhere. My spends, you know. So think of cost. So I showed you 5 pitfalls, right? I'm not leaving you hanging. So how to avoid these pitfalls? So we've been doing this with AWS, and they have been doing it globally, like defining framework, which is based on 6 pillars. The first pillar is the AWS investment. Everyone knows that there is a cost, what we call the migration bubble, running multiple environments, professional service, so this cost is covered by AWS, and there are different programs to help customers in migration. Now, the second pillar is defining a proper migration methodology, which I will show it to you in the next slides. Availability of relative tools for migrations. I'm not going to deep dive, but there are so many set of tools. We don't have to learn them. We consolidate them in a way that makes it easy to build and migrate. And the fourth pillar is partners, of course, like that they help in this journey. The fifth one is adopting different mindset, which is more managed service thinking, because we are not in the external cloud, we are in the cloud. And the last part, which I've heard a lot of CIOs highlighting, which is upskilling. Trainings are also provided upskilling, and we have a proper way of doing learning need analysis, which is amazing. We identify the trainings requirement for very important in the organization. Now, what to the methodology itself? This is three-phase approach. The first approach is doing proper assessment. Proper assessment means discovery, means creating a TCO so you can get into the next phase, which is the mobilization. Mobilization is preparing the capabilities and experience, and then the last phase would be executing the migration. So you see, we don't jump to the migration, we do certain preparation, right? Soft play. So back to the assess, rapid discovery, building the TCOs, so the idea is getting out how ready is your organization. It's more of digging into your organization, teams, units, finance, HR, it's not only tech. This is the last worry that we worry about. We worry about all other businesses, right? They need to be aligned. They need to understand that this organization is ready, right? So the outcome of the first phase is creating the case for change. So we get out the business case, detailing the scoring for readiness in different pillars of this income process. The next stage, which is mobilization, is where we work the four accelerators. So the accelerators are people, of course, skilling, the cloud center of excellence, the platform, which is about building admin zones, preparation, like the governance, compliance, all these things that matters from an operation perspective, post-migration. And then it goes forward, which is identifying your dependencies, what is strategy we're gonna follow for every different. It's not all like it is, right? So the outcome at this stage is building readiness to experience. Because we go to experience, we build pilots, so we support the customer to get more comfortable in cloud so they are ready. Now the last stage would be just accelerating this migration with the migration factory, standard operation procedures through all the testing and learning we have done in previous phases. So, the last slide, I will be the fastest one, I need +1. Now, why work with migration and modernization in PNC partner? Look, there are two answers for this. I'll be very honest, we need to make a living, right? But technically, growing capabilities, faster delivery, that was a joke, it's true, right? So knowledge transfer, access to funds and tools, because all of these funding supporting the migration model that I mentioned are provided. That's why. And of course, partner can help you during and post. That's what we do. So that's the end of my session.